Hey guys, welcome to week 3. So, the agenda for the week looks like this. We're going to focus on Unit 25 of our textbook. And so with Unit 25, it focuses on how to interpret information shown on the door and window details and the door and window schedule, okay? So what I really want to focus on is the ability to be able to read and understand the door and window schedules from a carpentry or carpenter point of view. So it's important because when we're out on a job site and we're referencing these plans, you know, we're laying out walls and sections of walls, and so we need to be able to quickly pick out that information. So, you know, hopefully by the end of the unit here, you're going to have a good understanding of where we get that information and how we find that particular information. So the assignments for the week look like this. So we're going to read the unit, so Unit 25, and then we're going to go into your plans folder and we're going to hit on the sample house plans. We're going to click on the week 3 assignment link and complete those questions. So there's going to be 10 questions and it's worth 30 points. This week we have a journal entry to do. So as always, a journal entry is going to be worth 10 points. And you're going to write a small paragraph and you're going to tell me a few of the key points that you picked up for the week. Okay, so that's pretty simple. So let's go into our folder here, and there's your assignments. I have some key points. So what I thought I would do is to get you guys acclimated to the door and window schedules, I thought I'd just pull up our sample house plan here. Now, one of the first things that I do when I get a set of plans is I kind of reference the sheet index because I want to know what is on what sheet so I can quickly go there and figure out that information. So I know on this particular plan there's 8 sheets. And so let's figure out where our door and window schedule is. So on the sheet index, it looks like we've got A7, so wall sections, roof plan, and window and door schedule. So on a window and door schedule, guys, this is where we are going to be able to find all of the key information that we're going to be needing so that I can get, there we go, all of my rough openings and all the dimensioning that I need. So here we have our door and window schedule. So now, what makes a good door and window schedule? Well, in my opinion, this particular guy here that drew this did a really, really good job because for me it's easy to understand. So what do I mean by that? Well, there's an ID for the window. There's a product code. So when you guys look at this product code, basically it's the manufacturer code. So when you have a window manufacturer's catalog, they're all going to list their windows, you know, in their own particular way. So a CW 245, you know, blah blah blah. Well, that's the Anderson window code for that window. So it's a casement window. Then we're going to see there's a hinge type, left, right, fixed. But one of the most important things here, guys, and I'm going to point right to it, is the rough opening size, right? So when we're pulling our tapes and we're making marks on top and bottom plates, this is what I need to know so that when we properly size the window or frame the window in, that the window actually fits in the rough opening so we have room to be able to shim it and plumb it correctly, okay? Then we have the quantity, so how many of those types of windows are there? The jamb thickness, so 6 9/16, that's something that you'll see typically, you guys, with a 2x6 wall, so that's a very standard jamb. So the jamb would be, as if you were looking on the inside of the house, the window has that wood around it, and then the casing gets attached to that. That's our jamb. And then of course you have the manufacturer, which is in our case Anderson, and then any comments, right? So the comments are going to be things like, and you can see it right here, tempered glass, right? Or 20-minute label. Okay, so tempered glass. Well, what is tempered glass for, and why would that be important? Well, tempered glass is going to be required in certain areas of the house. And I don't know if you guys are thinking about that, but what's tempered glass? Well, it's a form of a safety type of glass, right? So typically you're going to see stuff like that in bathrooms or when you have windows that are real low to the floor. And it makes sense because we don't want anybody, it's a safety thing, so we don't want anybody falling from getting out of the tub and bashing their head or something into the window. We don't want big shrouds of glass breaking and cutting everybody up. So it's a safety thing. And then if you see something like a 20-minute label, your clue would be, okay, so those are going to be entry doors or doors, service doors from the garage into the house. So that's a fire code thing, and that's something that we'll be actually talking about down the road here. So that's our door and window schedule. So how does that thing work? All right. So what I thought I would do is I would just go to the easiest way to visualize it is I'm right now I'm right on the main floor level here, and so this is how, as a carpenter, you guys will be doing this. So the first thing you got to do is let's look for windows, right? So where are some of the windows in this house? So I got one here. It looks like I have one here. I've got one here. So we'll go around and we identify where the windows are. Now what I do, guys, is this. I will see how the architect or the drafts person labeled these windows. So it looks like what he did here was he's got this little octagon and he's got a number 2. So I know that the windows are going to be labeled basically that way, all right? He's got this little shape. So I know those are the windows. What about the doors? So let's go look at a door here. So here's the entry door to the house. So he's got more of a circle here. Okay, so if I were to go back to the door and window schedule, the doors are going to be labeled and so are the windows. So the windows are, if you notice, were all numbered. The doors were all labeled with letters. Okay, so the symbol really doesn't matter so much. Sometimes the architects will actually have the symbol up above here so you guys know what it is. But in our case, I know that he labeled these with numbers, so I know those are our windows. All right. So let's go back to the floor plan here. So let's say, for instance, I'm framing or laying out this wall right here. Okay, I know it's our master bath wall, and I want to know what the rough opening size is. So how would I do this? Well, okay, if I'm laying out this wall, I know that the wall is 13 feet, and I know that I have window number 2 here. Now there's a couple things that we can do here. This particular architect is good because he knows that the carpenters are going to be looking at the main floor plan. So he actually put the rough opening right here. Well, that's great because you know what? I don't even have to do anything. That saves me a whole bunch of time, right? I don't need to go to the door and window schedule. But let's say the architect did not do that. Now you guys are gonna find out very quickly that not all architects draw things the same way. Everybody's got their own unique style. So it would be, to your benefit to just reference and make sure that, what this says jives with what the door and window schedule says. So we have a 4 foot 1/2 inch by 5 foot 5 5/8. And then one other thing real quick, all windows are going to be listed, guys. The width is going to be the first thing, and then it's going to be the height. So remember, width, height, width, height. So when you're laying something out, that first number, 4 foot 0 and 1/2 inch, is going to be the width of the rough opening. Okay, so let's go back. We'll go back to the rough opening here schedule. I'm sorry, the door and window schedule, and then we'll just take a peek. So we got window number 2, 4 foot 0, 1/2 inch by 5 foot 5, and I can't read it. I'll just blow it up. 5/8. Okay. 5 foot 5 and 5/8. I know there's one of them, and I know it's an Andersen series, and it makes sense. It's tempered glass, right? Because just like I said, it's going to be in a wet area, and it's a bathroom. All right. So we'll go right back here. So this is what we were looking at right here. Now, if I wanted to know, guys, what am I really looking at? What type of window is this? All right. Well, you know, in thinking about, us interpreting drawings, so is it a casement? Is it a double hung? Here, there's a note, a leader line that says top of window rough opening at 7 foot 10. Well, what does that really mean? Because the rough opening is 4 feet 1/2 inch by 5 feet 5. So could there be something above that? I'm not really sure. Well, think about it like this. Where am I? Is this the front of the house? Well, the answer is yes. So how could I acclimate myself and get a visual picture of that? Well, hopefully you're in your head or in your noodles, you're saying, wait a minute, maybe I'll go to the elevation drawings and see if there's a picture that I can understand maybe. So let's look for the front elevation ones. Okay, so here's the front elevation. So I have a window here, I have a window here. Where am I? Is it this window or is it this window? Okay, let's go back. Okay, this is the master bedroom, so it looks like it's this window here. So we'll go right back. And you know what's weird? There is an actual window up above here. All right. So now you're probably thinking, so I have a rough opening for this, and then I had a note to make it actually taller, right? Well, that's because when these windows show up, most of the time, will all be mulled together as one unit. So you would probably set this window as one unit. All right. So those are particular, things or particular things that you need to, in your mind, figure out and visualize. Okay. So the best way to visualize things is to kind of do what I just did. If you're not really sure about how something might look, you could actually do kind of a virtual walk around just like I did. All right. So the same thing goes with doors. You're going to use the door schedule virtually the same way. All right. So if you wanted to know, for example, this front door, well, that's the letter A, and it looks like I got a couple of windows flanking that. Now, how does that look? Well, let's just go back to our elevation. Okay, I have that's just a normal door. So they're not side lights, they're actual windows here, separate. And then if you remember this little dash line here, it's kind of a phantom line. Those are indicating what direction these windows will open up. So these your clue would be these are casement windows, so that they'd be hinged here and hinged here. So they'd open up this way, and then they'd open up this way, and you crank them open, all right? So let's just go back quick to the door and window schedule, and hopefully I can do that without any computer hiccups. As you guys can see, I'm not the greatest typer in the world. So here, it's a 3-0 left-hand door. I've got this information, which is key. There's one of them, 6 9/16 jamb. It's a Therma-Tru door, which is just another name for a door. I want to say those are Marvin's versions, all right? And then you would do that, all right? So these rough openings are listed. Sometimes, in a lot of other cases, doors on the interior. So you're probably thinking, where are all the interior doors? The interior doors are going to be not on a door and window schedule most of the time, because there's going to be a rule of thumb there that, you know, you're going to add 2 inches to the width of whatever size door you have. So for example, if you have a 32-inch door or a 2'8" door, you're going to add 2 inches to the rough opening, and that's how you're going to frame it in. And we will learn that in our framing portion in the framing lab, so you will have that drilled into your head. So a 32-inch door, you need a 34-inch opening. A 36-inch door, you need a 38-inch opening. So interior doors are a standardized door, so we will be able to frame those things in, you know, the same way every single time. What you got to watch out for is doors like on the exterior. So every manufacturer is a little bit different for their exterior doors. That's why this architect listed his stuff here, okay? The other doors, you know, you can go around and take a peek at. We've got 6-0 doors, so these are gliders or sliders, like big patio doors. So if you were to, you know, mentally walk around the house, you guys would see those, all right? So hopefully this gives you a good, you know, start in being able to figure this type of information out. It's very, very important because we use this to lay out our openings in our rough framing. So click on the link then when you guys are ready. It'll all be referencing this particular plan. So the questions aren't very hard, but it gives you a good, you know, sense of practice, or, you know, the ability to be able to visually walk around the house and tell me what certain information is. All right. So that's our week 3 work. Hopefully, you know, it's not going to be a big deal. As always, if you guys have any questions, please use the discussion board, contact me personally, or email me. All right, have a great week, and we will see you soon.